G'day guys, Richard from Drop Bear Moto here. Indian FTR day today, and we're going to talk specifically about the exhaust on this bike. Luckily enough, I found a championship edition with this pipe fitted. Give you a quick little bit of background on this pipe. When the FTR first came out, like those prototype videos, anyone that's probably across FTRs saw those videos, saw that bike and went, man, I've got to get that flat tracker for the street. I believe a big part of the reason for that was this pipe, and it's very similar, if not the same pipe that was on that prototype bike. I just think it finishes off in that flat tracker style. You know, there's some obvious kind of questions around it, where it's positioned, how is this thing going to handle? So I thought I'd give you an honest review of my experience with it, tell you a bit about me, and you can make up your mind whether this is something you want to try on your bike or not. Very hard to sample an exhaust pipe unless you can find a used one somewhere with one on to go for a test ride. So we'll talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about the looks, the ergonomics, the performance, and then we're going to do some sound clips. So first of all, I said we'll talk about the looks, and as I said, to me, this pipe makes this bike. It just really finishes off flat track. I think one of the big things with the FTR for me was just that it looked like that flat track style. Obviously, it has been fitted to the road with the mirrors and lights, things like that. And we've got to do something about this really ugly possum scraper on the back here at some point. But it was pretty true to kind of that flat track style for the road, and it's an awesome package. I'm not going to go into the bike itself here because you already know. But what I will say is that this one has a 19-inch front wheel fitted, so it is the championship edition from 2022, but it's not a 2022 bike with the smaller front wheel that some bikes have. So I'm 6'3", normally buy a 32-inch Levi's, maybe on some pants 34, but not massively long legs. But let's talk about it, because obviously I do think, first of all, if you know this bike, you do need a little bit of height to jump on it. My wife is 5'3", and she can't, get on the bike comfortably. Certainly can't flat foot it. So it is a tricky one. She's leaning one way or the other if she wants to get on, and that pipe's gonna cause problems if you aren't as tall as I am, let's say. Anything below my height, I'm afraid I can't help you. But let's talk about that. Ergonomics, my size fitting on it, and look, let me jump on real quick. When I'm on the bike, I do find that I come out a little bit with that leg. As you can see, I am on tippy toes when I'm on this bike with the pipe on. I don't flat foot it. I can, I guess, put it down. If I do that, I am on the pipe here. So generally, most of the time I will sit up. I don't ever have a problem with the bike when I'm riding and there's air flying over it. I'm in Florida. It's 90 degrees plus days we're out riding, and if I'm in traffic sitting at lights, it does warm up. If I'm in a parking lot, slow speed, or moving around position parking the bike, it does get warm. The interesting thing is I don't ever burn my leg in a parking lot. I do probably try to avoid putting this leg down if I can, but I can get out far enough to not hurt. In jeans, I would never ride this bike in shorts. I wouldn't ride a bike in shorts. The only time that it can rub is in a lot of traffic. You can see here, the bottom of my calf kind of rubs up against the bottom of the pipe here. And so sometimes if I'm riding and I get a bit of that traffic just there, I might feel a bit of warmth. I just kind of move my leg out a fraction if I feel it. I've never burnt myself on it, and as I say, it's on hot days, in traffic when you're stopped, I do notice a pipe there, but the rest of the time, honestly, I might be out a little bit, but that's all. It's really easy to handle. As I say, I can flat foot it. I am on it there. Can get tucked in, can get nice and on the bike and lean right in. No problems at all for me. But if you were shorter, you're going to notice the pipes there, and you're going to be on the heat shield. Not going to burn, but you're going to get warmth. So first thing to kind of be wary of. Performance. So it's a 2 and a 2 pipe, so it doesn't have a crossover in the pipe at all, and doesn't have a 2 into 1. So you're not going to get the back pressure that some of those pipes will give. I've read on some of the forums that if you get to a Tosh or something like that, you might see 6 horsepower more with a tune. you know, compared to the SNS without a tune. Honestly, I'm not going to notice that. I don't believe on this bike with the horsepower it's got, so that wasn't a concern for me, but there probably are pipes that give you better performance that you could look into. It does have the high flow catalytic converter in it. So it is 50 state legal in the States, which is handy. So, you know, in countries where you need that cat converter in there and you can't remove it, it's certainly, you know, that's a factor that this pipe's going to give you, and that probably weighs in somewhat with the performance as well. So the last thing I'll do is going to go for a ride, but let me leave you with those sound clips. I'm going to put some proper gear on, go do that. But I guess in summary, you know, people always talk, it's hard to get looks, performance, and sound out of an exhaust system. 10 out of 10 for me for looks. I think it's the best looking pipe on the market for sure. Absolutely love the look of the pipes. Performance, you know, maybe it's an 8 out of 10, something like that, maybe a 9. It's not probably the best performing on the market. I do have a Lloyd's tune on the bike as well, so the two together, and look, it's magic. It's got more power than honestly I'm ever going to use, so performance is there for me, but I'll mark it down a little bit. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for sound as well. It's got a really gnarly flat track sort of sound to it. People pick it as an SNS straight away, even if they haven't seen it come around and they've heard it. It's got that familiar sound. It's got a nice little back pop. Maybe it sounded a little bit before I got the tune, a little bit better, a little bit more gnarly, but you know, certainly the rest of the way the bike runs, and it probably runs a little bit cooler post the tune as well. So all in all, yeah, I'm really happy with the pipe. I would recommend it to anyone, but those couple of ergonomic things I'd just be conscious of. Hopefully that helps you in your decision. Some of the information I was looking for when I jumped on it, but yeah, it's not going anywhere soon. I love it. I'm going to get out, rip it around, and share the sound with you. Thanks for watching.